I play Colette, who's the wife of Chester, Viggo Mortensen's character, and I am his wife, and he's a bit of a swindler and uses people for money, and the story begins, we're kind of on the lam, and we've gone to Europe to escape the United States. There could have been a lot of different ways to play it, but I think the most interesting for the dynamic of these three people is that, you know, she's really, even though she's kept in the dark about a certain major secret of the story, I think it's very much a falling out of love and a marriage. And Rydal's character plays a lot into that, because the more the story goes on, Chester becomes more and more kind of the monster of the movie, and Rydal is like her protector. And so even though Viggo doesn't play it that obvious, it's definitely those undercurrent things happening. She's not totally blind to things, but I think she chooses to be in certain circumstances until you can't be that blind anymore. But she isn't a ma boy for anything like that. I think she truly loves Chester, and that's why it's painful to watch these two, you know, come from a place where you see they're on vacation, you see something's wrong and off, but it's not like they don't love each other and have a good time together. Rydal, to me, is always in this film my protector and who cares about me, and meanwhile my husband is becoming less and less that to me. So the circumstances are drawing me more and more to Rydal, even though I think that Colette is in love with her husband. Working with Viggo is much different than working with Oscar for me as an actress, and also I think it creates a great dynamic for me as a character, because I do, you know, I'm completely different with both men in the film. Viggo I mean, we laugh so much during this job, which is interesting because it's pretty heavy a lot of the time, but he has a controlled, like he has a focus in him, and is very aware of the camera, but then feels completely natural too when you watch it. Viggo is almost a director, and it's in a way, I think, and he knows immediately like what will work, and I kind of have to figure that out sometimes. And Oscar is a little bit more like, you know, sometimes we'll do many takes, because a lot of the times the scenes are so well written and so simple, yet there's so much going on that it can be many different ways. There's so many different layers going on underneath, and I think with Oscar and I, we play around with like things a little bit more to figure them out, but neither way is, you know, the right way. It's just like, you know, how you are as an actor. To me, this movie doesn't feel like we're making a thriller, because a lot of the tension comes out of the emotional scenes and misunderstandings, and the weird undercurrent thing that's happening builds the tension, and that it's more in the way it's shot rather than all the time what the scenes are actually about. But when you read the script as a whole, it does feel like a thriller. I read the script, you know, I got it from my agent, and I think that Haas really wasn't sure if he wanted to go younger, or what his, you know, what he wanted for Colette, really, because there's a lot of different interpretations of, you know, having, you know, a more innocent girl playing the role, or, you know, somebody who was, it was a more, because in the book she was a very, like sexualized, very, like she'd always be in Rydal's room on the bed, you know what I mean? So it was a very different approach. So I wasn't sure like what direction, I think, and I read the script and I fell in love with the story, really. It wasn't, you know, oh, I need to play this part. I was like, oh, I want to help tell this story. And I loved this. It was so well written and like a proper film. There's not many scripts that you just read and it's just like, that's a movie. And I want to see that movie. I think, you know, for a film to work and for women to like the film too, it's not as interesting if you don't have a strong female in there, whether you like her or not, or like the things she does or you don't. You don't want someone that doesn't have any, that you don't feel sorry for as well. Well, Haas, this is his first film, and I'm so lucky. I'm so happy I was in it because he's such an intuitive, smart director. I mean, as a writer he is as well, and just as a person communicating in life, he's just wonderful and so kind and so supportive of his actors and the crew, and he knows exactly what he wants. And it's interesting, like the first 2 days it was, you know, he's starting to get his footing, and then it was bam, you know, and now he's been doing it forever, and he's one of my favorite directors I've ever worked with. He knows the story better than anyone, but he also loves what his actors bring to it, and that's, I think, where you get the best performances, when you love your actors, you let them do what you want, you're supportive, and you bring them ideas, and what's good about Haas, he communicates that in just a few words. It's very difficult when you're sitting with someone and they're like in between takes, they're just talking, and you kind of lose. Like, I'm someone, you say 2 words to, I'm like, okay, I got it. You know what I mean? And you kind of keep the flow of it, and he understands how to work with actors, and that's not something that everyone knows how to do. And also, as a writer, he knows how to like let go of not being precious about exactly what's in the script, and knowing that once you start filming, it's going to take on a different life. It was incredible to be able to shoot in the places that we did without, you know, being able to walk around in them, because you're not allowed to do that anymore. To me, what's, you know, really great about design and the way I think that we all look together is that it's understated. It's not, you know, I feel beautiful and it looks elegant. It's not, you know, here's a new look. We start out as a very glamorous couple, and this is actually my glamorous look. And we, you know, we got some Chanel jewelry happening here and everything, but it was a very, yeah, we slowly kind of, you see us come apart. And so the clothes tell that story as well. And sometimes with movies that are period, it's just, sometimes it takes you out almost, even though it's a period film, because it's very loud or too much, or was, you know, very elegantly done. I've had a really great relationship with Viggo and Oscar, so I hope that, and I think it will, usually those relationships transcend to the screen, and I think that when you have, and I think our acting melds well together, I hope, and it feels like it does, and I think that hopefully the story, which is the most important thing, we've told it in a way that will be interesting and dynamic for the people that watch it.